come back this season and been a great addition back into the lineup, both offensively and then defensively, working with a ton of pitchers.
2-0 pitch is over for a strike. So whatever was discussed between the two young women resulted in the strike. 2-1 the count to the number 2 hitter. Just the start of things here at the Stanford Softball Stadium. The 2-1 stayed inside. It's 3-1. We had rain up until about an hour before the game. It's been raining off and on this weekend. But they tell us the skies will stay clear. Just some puffy clouds above. 3-1 pitch is over for a strike. Beecham tossed the bat aside and did not work. Count is full now to the junior third baseman.
Beecham hitless so far this weekend, but is on a 30-game on-base streak because of the walk she's drawn.
She pokes one foul over by the Stanford dugout, and we'll do it again, 3-2. Beecham had a tremendous freshman year. .417 her average. Played and started in all of the 62 games FSU played back in 2024. She's from Tallahassee. Last year took a dip average-wise to .304, but did have 11 home runs. Had 16 the year before, has 6 this year, so she's got some sock. 3-2 pitch is blooped over shortstop and into left field, base hit. So the first base runner of the game is Jasoni Beecham.
When you're a great hitter, you can make adjustments. Gets slightly jammed here, but gets the barrel through enough. A soft line drive into left field. You know she's the type that's going to make adjustments. National Freshman of the Year a couple of years back, and has made some adjustments already this season to improve from her sophomore year to now.
And now to the plate, Ashton Danley, the junior, who was the starting pitcher on Friday night. Pretty fair hitter as well. .348 with 5 home runs, 33 RBIs. Homered here on Friday night. Pitch from Anna Brewer is outside. Danley 3 for 8 in the series with 4 RBIs. Mentioned the home run that she hit here early in the game on Friday night. A shot to right field. She's a left-handed hitter. 5th home run.
And she had a bases clearing double later on in the ball game as well on Friday, and she got the start in the circle. I think that's one of the most impressive things about her. A two-way player, of course, can be that presence in the circle, but also in the box. And Lonnie Alameda says that's a game changer for them to have on staff.
Momentary delay here, just a brief conference between Taryn Kern, the first baseman, Ava Gall, and the pitcher, Anna Brewer. Of course, Florida State has a tradition of two-way players. Jessica Vanderlinden, the National Player of the Year in 2004, pitched and was a great hitter, position player. First pitch from Anna Brewer is inside. Top of the first inning, no score, runner at first. 1 out for Florida State, trying to avoid a sweep by Stanford. Pitch is on the outside corner from Brewer, and the count 2-1. The 2-1 stayed outside, and the count is 3-1. Brewer trying to work away from this dangerous number 3 hitter, Ashton Danley. Interesting, Florida State has a quarterback named Ashton Daniels. He played at Stanford, played at Auburn last year, now quarterbacking for Florida State. The pitch is ball 4 to Ashton Danley, and Florida State something cooking here in the top of the first. 2 on and just 1 out.
And Beecham was stealing on that one. That's something that she's been working on too, that Lonnie Alameda said, is sharpening other aspects of her game. A lot of expectation that went into her sophomore season after such a tremendous freshman year, that she's been working on her speed, base running, everything around it too, and has a new perspective going into her junior year this year, Lonnie said.
And behind the catcher at the plate, the freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina, takes a first pitch for a strike. The State has put together this marvelous season with a multiple freshmen in the lineup, and not just a couple, but 3, 4. Anna Hind hitting cleanup. She's 3 for 7 in the series. Pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen. And Anna Brewer is ahead. 0-2. Brewer, freshman herself from Columbia, Tennessee, attended Columbia Academy. Pitch is lifted foul and out of play off to the right. And a nice catch by a fan.
Love to see the defense come out to play in the stands as well as between the lines.
A little bit more full than it was the first 2 nights. Weather is more accommodating, but I think the word about Stanford softball has gotten out there. This Florida State team and done well. 0-2 pitch is high in the count, 1-2.
You mentioned the young team that Florida State is. Lonnie Alameda talked about the freshmen, just how mature they are. Anna Hind included in that conversation.
Pitch is just off the outside corner, and the count even up at 2-2. Anna Brewer obviously wanted that one. Anna Hind, the North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior. Her dad, Kevin, played baseball for Clemson. 2-2 pitch is outside, and Anna Brewer's gone all the way to the freshman cleanup hitter, Anna Hind.
Brewer herself coming from Tennessee, all-state selection, so some great freshman talent.
Pitch is popped up around second base, calling off everybody as a shortstop, River Mailer, and she counts it infield fly. The operative play there. And that's the second out of the top of the first inning, and that will bring to the plate Bella Ruggiero, the right fielder. Ruggiero hitting .342 on the season. Came off the bench in the first 2 games, 2 for 3 with a couple RBIs, so was productive. First pitch from Brewer is outside. Ball dropped momentarily by the catcher Gall, but not far enough away for the runner at second. Beecham to advance.
And just in that last pop-up that was produced by Brewer, a nice job being able to get hitters to just miss, especially the cleanup like Anna Hind. That's exactly what your job is as a pitcher.
Brewer's pitch down and in. Count even up at 1-1. These Florida State hitters have been hitting the ball on the screws much of this weekend. A lot of them were lined to center field last night. Emily Jones was busy for Stanford. Pitch is looped foul over toward the first base dugout and out of play. Count is 1-2. To Ruggiero, the redshirt freshman from West Palm Beach, Florida. Some experience on national team, played on the United States under-18 team. Brewer's pitch is into right field, base hit. Rounding third is Beecham. There'll be a throw to the plate, but it will not be in time as Florida State gets on the board first. An RBI single from Bella Ruggiero.
And you can see this pitch down in the zone, but drops the barrel to get on plane with it, pokes it through that 3-4 hole, not trying to do too much. Knows there are runners in scoring position. Hard on the ground, good things happen, and Florida State's on the board first.
That'll bring Kennedy Harp to the plate. The junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia. 2 for 7 in the series with a double and an RBI. Brewer's pitch is grounded to Mailer at short. She'll run over to second, and that will end things for Florida State in the top of the first inning. But for Florida State, which is trying to avoid the sweep here at Stanford Softball Stadium, they get off on the good foot, as they say. It is Florida State 1 and Stanford coming to bat. Bottom of the first at Stanford Softball Stadium. Florida State 1, Stanford nothing. As you look at the Stanford Cardinals starting lineup, and Jenna, the top three in the order, the veterans, Taryn Kern, Emily Jones, and Kira Chan have had big numbers and have led the way for Stanford throughout the season.
Those top three in the order coming into the weekend combined hitting over 400. They've scored about half the runs that Stanford has scored this entire season, yet they've also crossed the 80 RBI mark as a group, and that's being at the top of the order. And so this has been a huge spark plug for Stanford, and it all starts with Taryn Kern.
And the pitcher for Florida State, McKenna Reed, a senior from the West Coast. She's from Tigard, Oregon. 5-1 her record, 3.68 the earned run average, pitching from the left side. Has pitched previously in the series, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple of runs. First pitch to Taryn Kern is over for a strike. 0-1 to Taryn Kern, who's having an All-American season, as Jenna alluded to. 405 the average, 14 home runs, 37 RBIs. Reed's pitch, that one's over for a strike, and the Florida State pitcher, Reed, ahead in the count to Kern, who's 1 for 6 in the series, but she had a big 3-run home run in the 6th inning of the dramatic 9-8 Stanford win on Friday. And now timeout for the moment as rain begins to fall here at Stanford Softball Stadium. Light rain, but Jenna, you've played in rain. It's not the easiest thing to do.
We chose an outdoor sport, so because of that, you do have to work through the elements, and both teams have been doing that all weekend long with delays, pushed out start times. It's all a part of the mental game that goes into it.
Reed's pitch is turned on and grounded off the screen. Nearly hit Emily Jones in the on-deck circle there. That's how quick Taryn Kern is, Jenna. She can turn on it, and you're in the on-deck circle behind the hitter. You think she can't get all the way around and hit it to me? Well, Taryn Kern almost did.
Taryn Kern's told me before she likes hitting with 2 strikes. Simplifies things for her.
And she lines one just outside the first base line and foul, so it stays 0-2. Taryn Kern famously patient, the great on-base average. But the entire team is starting to get a dose of it, Jenna. 14 walks combined the last 2 games.
And Taryn Kern specifically went into this season trying to be a little bit more aggressive. She still likes to take early on to see more pitches.
The 0-2 pitch is away in the count 1-2. Well, she hit the first offering in the 6th inning, which was sort of off of form.
And that was the adjustment. She had been struck out twice, mixing in the off speed there, knew she was going to get that pitch again, sat changeup, demolished it.
1-2 is grounded into the hole and off the glove of the second baseman Heller and into right field. I would imagine that'll be a base hit for the 400-plus hitting Taryn Kern as we look at it again.
What a great at-bat from Taryn Kern. Again, hard on the ground. Just pokes it through the infield. You start off 0-2. She took those first 2 strikes, stays alive, fouls some pitches off, and wins the battle in the end.
So the second of the 3 seniors at the top of the lineup for Stanford at bat now. Emily Jones, a senior center fielder, 3 for 8 in the series, hitting .389 on the year. She bunts at it, and it's a good bunt. Throw to first is in time. The sacrifice effective. Of course, Emily Jones known for her acumen with the bat, bunting ability, and the great speed.
That's what makes her so difficult to defend and gives her more options. Oftentimes you'll see her lay down a bunt like that. She'll leg it out at first base. So all of a sudden you move the runner into scoring position, you find yourself on base 2, but if not, it's a successful sacrifice and you still have that runner over at second.
Kira Chan, the right fielder, is up, and she hits one into left center field, and that's going to be down for a base hit. That's going to get a run home. There'll be no play at the plate. RBI for Chan. As Kern scores, we're tied at 1.
This is what Stanford has done well this weekend, is answer once they give up a run. So that's a little bit elevated. Kira Chan stays on plane, goes opposite field with it. Enough time, plenty for Kern to come around and score. And that was just manufacturing. Get him on, get him over, get him in.
Vermailer at the plate, another senior, the shortstop. Began her career as a second baseman, but has moved over to short in her upper class woman years. She takes a ball on the first pitch from McKenna Reed. So plate discipline for Stanford, not over swinging, making contact, and that alchemy results in a run as the second pitch from Reed stays away and the count 2-0.
To add to how dangerous this top part of the order is, 3 All-Americans that you're going to face as an opposing pitcher in the first 4 batters, with Kern, Jones, and Mailer here in the cleanup.
Mailer hitting .331. She lines one into right field. That's a base hit, and it goes off the glove of the right fielder, Danley, and now they'll be at the play. At the plate, the throw is in time, and out is Kira Chan. As Chan tried to take a chance there, the ball was hit hard to right field and went off the glove of Danley, but she's the pitcher, and she got the ball back into the infield, and the relay was into the plate. Chan taking a chance, and it was unsuccessful.
Mailer turned on that pitch really nicely, but the bobble in right field given a little extra time. Jessica Allister was sending Kira Chan all the way, gets a little bit stuck on the slide right before home plate, but a great throw, getting it in, and a solid tag from Anna Hind as well to finish the play.
That's the second out of the inning on the play. Mailer goes to second, and that will bring Jade Berry to the plate, Stanford's junior third baseman, hitting .306 with 4 home runs and 31 RBIs. First pitch from Reed is up, and the count 1-0. Berry 2 for 7 in the series, had a triple on Friday night and a key single in the 7-run 4th inning last night. That pitch also missed from McKenna Reed, the Florida State pitcher. Count 2-0.
Just to reiterate how important that defensive play was, obviously you eliminate the go-ahead run in that situation. This is a Florida State team leading the ACC in fielding percentage.
And that ball is wrapped to right center field, and Harp can't get there. It one-hops the wall, and into second is Berry. A run scores. Mailer crossing the plate, and Stanford has taken the lead 2-1 on the double by Jade Berry, who, as we look at it again, solid contact and running all the way. Jade Berry, almost half of her hits, Jenna, have been for extra bases this season.
Yeah, she made a nice adjustment yesterday, hit a hard ground ball down the third baseline, this time turning on it to take it into right center.
Pitch from Reed to Joey Economides is over for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Stanford answers the seminal run in the top of the first with a pair in the bottom of the first. Reed's pitch is down, and the count 1-1 to Joey Economides, hitting .265 on the season, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs. A challenging series for Economides, 0 for 7 with a couple of strikeouts. But so capable of hitting the long ball. Last year, 15 home runs for this sophomore. Pitch is grounded into left field, base hit between short and third. Berry is coming home. The throw to the plate, not in time, as Stanford plates another one. The RBI to Joey Economides. Good base
Great
running
job
by Berry.
Using the speed, that's what they always do on the base pass, aggressive, but a nice job by Economides. She had been chipping away from at-bat to at-bat, had not found a hole yet, but once again, hard on the ground, turns on it to get it through the infield, and Jade Berry, after getting the RBI double herself, comes in to score. That's an ideal outing for Berry in that case.
And that turn of events will bring the head coach, Lonnie Alameda, to the circle to speak with her pitcher, McKenna Reed, as well as the catcher and the assembled infielders.
This is back-to-back days that Florida State has struck first. They scored first yesterday too, Coming into that game, they had been undefeated, 20-0 on the season when scoring first. But Stanford has been able to answer, and they do it in a big way. They continue to put up crooked numbers. And so you got to take that moment like Lonnie Alameda does right now.
Stanford hitters making good contact. The middle of the order people are hitting the ball hard and deep. You just feel this Stanford team kind of coming together offensively.
And there is activity in the Florida State bullpen.
Ava Gall, the hitter, the number 7 hitter in the Stanford order, with 2 outs here. Bottom of the first. First pitch to Gall is inside, and the count 1-0. 3-1 Stanford. Bottom of the first in the third game of this 3-game series. First ever AC series between Stanford and Florida State. Stanford having won the first 2. Reed's pitch is away. And it's 2-0.
Ava Gall has been walked multiple times in this series, but what I like about her approach is she's been on time. She's been tracking the ball all the way from release into the catcher's glove. You can look good and like you're in a rhythm and on time, even when you're walking.
Your pitch, your spot situation, you're 2-0, but the ball is grounded to first, and that's right into the glove of the first baseman, Griggs, and that will retire Stanford in the bottom of the first. But the Cardinal push across 3. And they take the lead over Florida State after 1 at the Stanford Softball Stadium. (3-1) Stanford going to the top of the second inning. We just talked about the Stanford 3 runs, just recapping Florida State in the top of the first inning. After Isa Torres struck out, that's news. She's hitting .600 for the season. A single, a walk, an infield fly rule play, and then a run-scoring single, Jenna, by Bella Ruggiero to put the Seminoles up early, just as they did in the prior game.
And it was important for Florida State to come out and make something happen immediately. Try to set the tone for this ball game. Now they're in a hole again that they're trying to dig out of.
First pitch from Anna Brewer to Haley Griggs. Missed, and the count 1-0. Griggs, another of these outstanding freshmen for the Seminoles. She was the Gatorade Player of the Year last year in Ohio. She's from Perrysburg, Ohio. 3 for 6 in the series, hitting .265 for the season. She takes a strike. The count 1-1.
Lonnie Alameda talked about the maturity of the freshman class. Haley Griggs definitely a part of that. Was hurt in her high school career, tore her ACL her freshman year, missed a travel ball season along with it, but has fought back to now, of course, be playing collegiate ball with Florida State.
Number 6th ranked player in the class of 2025 in the USA, according to one ranking system. 2-1 pitch is over for a strike, caught the corner, and count is 2-2. Haley Griggs' older sister Kylie played for Pitt. So softball runs in the family. 3-time All-Ohio choice in softball. 2-2 pitch is fouled off the screen. Count stays at 2-2.
She's really led the way offensively so far in the series. 2 for 3 yesterday, 1 for 3 with a double. Scored a run, got a walk in game 1. She's been a key piece in the middle of the order.
And a Brewers 2-2 pitch is up and away, and she's gone all the way to the number 7 hitter in the Seminole lineup, Haley Griggs. And here comes the 3-2. That one is popped on the infield. Calling for it is the first baseman, Kern. She's under it. She makes the catch for out number 1.
Anna Brewer delivering exactly what Stanford needs in the moment, which is after you score, after you put up a big inning offensively, you want to come out there and immediately set the tone and get that first out. Attack the bottom of the order here, and she does a nice job inducing the pop-up there.
The number 8 hitter is Marin Heller, a freshman as well. Pitches over for a strike. Heller has had an outstanding season, but has been quiet in this series coming into this game. 367. 1 for 6 on the series, has struck out 4 times. That's why she's been dropped in the order for this game. Pitch from Brewer, that one's over for a strike, and Anna Brewer quickly ahead of Marin Heller. The 0-2, that pitch wasted, almost outside the right-handed or left-handed batter's box. Count of 1-2. Heller from West Des Moines, Iowa. Of the state in RBIs her junior season. Pitch is lined into right center field, and that may get through the gap, and it does. Heller rounding first, steaming into second with a stand-up double. And the Seminoles, something cooking here in the top of the second inning.
Nice compact swing to just take this the other way. Doesn't try to do too much, pokes it through on a rope.
We talked about a lot of the contact from Florida State has been solid in this series. A lot of the hit balls have found gloves. But Florida State, a real good gap hitting team. First pitch to the number 9 hitter, McKenna Sturgis, missed, and it's 1-0. Sturgis, a freshman from Tampa, hitting .358. 3 home runs and 25 RBIs, but 0 for 6 in this series thus far. She attempts a bunt and bunts it foul over toward Isa Torres, the leadoff hitter.
Not a bad idea, coming from the right side, even to lay down a drag bunt potentially. Haven't been able to find the barrel to the ball so far this series, so how can you make things happen?
Well, and Torres is on deck. Isa Torres, the great Florida State leadoff hitter. Brewer's pitch hit McKenna Sturgis, and that's not what obviously Anna Brewer wanted there, because it does bring to the plate the aforementioned Isa Torres.
The freebies can come back to bite you. That's something that Florida State experienced. 14 walks over the last 2 games that their pitchers have issued. And Stanford had capitalized, now an opportunity for the Seminoles.
Brewer's pitch to is hit to the pitch, back to the pitcher Brewer, and she gets the lead out at third. That ball was 1 hop back to Brewer, but she didn't really have to move much, didn't have to adjust her body.
It's a nice job being that 5th infielder. Right back to her, but sets her feet to get that throw to third base. Barry didn't have a ton of time to get back to the bag, but makes sure she puts her foot on it to get that lead runner.
So runners remain at first and second, but now 2 outs. Pitch to Beecham is outside. Jasoni Beecham, I should say. And Stanford has done a good job on Torres in this game, as they have throughout the series. She struck out in the first and now grounds back to the pitcher, fielder's choice on that prior play. Pitch missed from Brewer.
Beecham did a nice job making the adjustment, getting her first hit of the series last time up. The single line drive into left. Now, can you do it with runners on base?
1-1 pitch from Brewer is outside, and the count 2-1. Brewer getting set for the 2-1 pitch. That one is grounded to short. Could be 2 to second 1. And that is his third out of the inning. Didn't need 2 there because that throw to second base ended the inning as Stanford snuffs out a Florida State chance. We'll go when we come back. We will be ready for the bottom of the second inning. Stanford 3, Florida State 1. Bottom of the second at Stanford Softball Stadium. First year of this refurbished facility. John Platz along with Jenna Becerra. Stanford 3, Florida State 1 as Stanford and Florida State, Jenna, embark upon the latter stages of this ACC season.
It is down the stretch when it comes to conference play. And Stanford came into the week at 6th in the standings for the ACC. They've bumped up to number 4, as we talked about at the top of the show. Florida State came in first. They were undefeated in the ACC slate initially. These are their first losses. So they're now in second place behind Duke.
Florida State has fallen in the RPI. Stanford has picked up a couple of spots. We'll talk about that later. First pitch of this bottom of the second inning is a ball to Addison Shepard, the hero of the Friday night game. As you look now at the ACC standings, Florida State having dropped the 2 games. Duke winning today against North Carolina. So actually Duke is 15-3 as we speak. Florida State and Duke right atop the standings, heading into the ACC tournament early next month at Palmer Park in Charlottesville. Virginia Tech and Louisville, 10-win teams. Stanford trying to get to 12 wins with a win today.
And Louisville, with their win today, sneaking past Stanford in the standings. Stanford would need this one to leapfrog once again.
But Stanford, a favorable schedule, and we'll talk about this as we go along, coming home, as they say. Stanford has 2 more ACC series after this one. Addison Shepard at the plate. Of course, her grand slam walk-off style was the excitement of Friday night here in the series opener. Pitch from McKenna Reed is over for a strike, and the count even up at 2-2. Addison Shepard for the series is 1 for 5. Of course, the one hit was the grand slam. She's hitting .302 on the season with 8 home runs, 29 RBIs. 2-2 pitch from Reed is chopped to third. Jasoni Beecham has it, throws to first in time. Out number 1.
It's a nice job by Beecham to move to her left. And we have seen a shift defensively on most of the time for the infield for Florida State. Beecham really plugging that 5-6 hole. Issa Torres moved towards second base, more up the middle. So there is a bit of a gap down the third base line.
The number 9 hitter, Sydney Boulafin. She lifts one along the left field line, is falling, it's in, and it gets by the left fielder. And Boulafin is running and not stopping. She goes all the way to third, and she's in there with a triple. I think they'll score it as such. We'll wait and see on that. But first pitch swinging, Jenna, and finding inside of the left field line.
A little bit off the end of the bat, but falls perfectly in the right place. And the bounce off of this, drifting away from the left fielder Sturgis, so it gives Bulafin enough time to stand up over at third base. Huge difference to take that extra bag, and you're just 60 feet away from scoring another one with less than 2 outs. More options.
Back to the top of the order, and Taryn Kern for Stanford. Single in her first trip to the plate. She takes the ball inside, and Stanford leading 3-1, and a chance to add to that here with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning.
And just a note too, that is Ashton Danley in the circle now for Florida State, another lefty.
Yeah, Danley having come into the game. She's pitched in prior game of this series. Florida State does not want to get swept. Infield cheating in, try and cut off the run at the plate. Pitch is chopped foul behind the plate. So Ashton Danley, there's the junior, 2.78 ERA, 8-1. 5.2 innings pitched on Friday. Faced 28 batters, allowed 5 runs, all earned, and 7 hits, struck out 7. Pitch to Kern is called strike 3 as Danley throws a beautiful pitch, painted the outside corner, and
Maybe take a look at this location again, coming from that left side. The curveball just grazes that outside corner, breaking away from Taryn Kern. Danley had some success against Kern when she got that start in game 1.
Emily Jones at the plate trying to pick up that runner at third. Now with 2 outs, she takes a ball.
And that 5 2/3 innings that she threw in game 1, that tied her season high for how long she actually is out there in the circle.
1-0 pitch to Jones in the dirt, but a nice block of the softball by the catcher Hind.
It really was a pitcher's duel through the first 5 innings. It was back and forth. Zoe Prstyko getting the start on Stanford's side of the house. Back and forth between those two. Taryn Kern getting that 3-run home run. And then the craziness of that 7th inning with 10 combined runs between the two squads.
Jones sacrificed in the first inning. Here she takes a pitch low and the count 3-0. Emily Jones, the fine defensive center fielder from Westlake, California, which my broadcast partner played some pretty fair softball for back in the day. Pitch on 3-0 is taken for ball 4, and so Jones reaches base. Stanford has first and third with 2 out. And Kira Chan at the plate, who, as Jessica Allister has said, really should be in the All-American discussion along with some of her fellow seniors.
Yeah, based on the numbers she put up last year and then this year hitting over 400, been clutch in big moments.
She grounds one, cues one actually to the shortstop. Torres throws to first and gets the speedy Chan by a step to retire the side for the Cardinal. We're through 2 here at Stanford Softball Stadium, with our score remains the Stanford Cardinal 1 and the Florida Seminoles 1. Florida State won in this AC matchup. As Jenna, we look at Florida State, best start since 2022. They came into the week number 9 in the USA softball poll. Came into the week number 9 RPI. They've dropped 3 spots. They're currently at 12.
It has been a great start. They came in on such a high, a 25-game win streak. 6 losses on the season have all been to ranked teams. In fact, the 4 that happened before this series against Stanford, all in the top 10 in the rankings. So no bad losses, quote unquote, on their resume.
Ashton Danley takes the first pitch for a ball. The second one is away as well. Count 2-0 to the number 3 hitter, Ashton Danley, who's coming on to pitch. But dangerous hitter as well, walked in the top of the first. We're in the top of the third now. She lifts one over toward the Florida State dugout, but it's going to peel off out of play. And move the count to 2-1. Mentioned Danley, two-way player, as was the great Jessica Vander Linden in 2004. That was a World Series year for Florida State, which has been to the College World Series, Women's College World Series, 12 times.
And that's why when we talk about the start that they had to the season, of course, it's been a tough weekend, but the start leading up to it, being historical for the program, it's a big deal. They're a mainstay in Oklahoma City.
The pitch is grounded into right field past the outstretched glove of Addison Shepard. So a single for Ashton Danley to lead off the top of the third for the Seminoles.
Ultimate help yourself out. That pitch is down. She gets on top of it a little bit, but still hits it hard. We have seen continued success already throughout this one. Both sides hitting the ball hard on the ground and keeping it simple.
Brings up the cleanup hitter, Anna Hind, who popped out her first time up. She takes a pitch inside. It's an infield fly rule call. Runners at first and second and less than 2 outs. Batter is automatically out on a pop-up. Base runners advance at their own peril. Brewer's pitch is lifted to left center field. Over is Chan, over is Jones. Jones will step in front of Chan and make the catch for the first out of the top of the third inning.
Communication so key. I could see Emily Jones telling Sydney Bulifin, yeah, I couldn't really hear you on that one, but knowing that the center fielder has priority in those situations helped Bulifin be able to bail and get out of the way enough for Jones to finish the play.
We'll bring Ruggiero to the plate. She takes a first pitch ball outside. Bella Ruggiero had an RBI single in the top of the first inning, driving in to the moment, lone Florida State run. 3-1 Stanford leading it. She wraps one foul over toward the berm behind the stands along the left field side. 1-1 to Bella Ruggiero, redshirt freshman from West Palm Beach. She takes a pitch on the inside corner, moves the count to 1-2. Anna Brewer finding a bit of a rhythm and growing in confidence. As Jenna mentioned, a lot has been asked of her with the injuries to Alyssa Houston, and she strikes out. Ruggiero with the second out of this top of the first inning.
It's a great job by Brewer.
Top of the third inning, I should say, excuse me.
Talked about that down pitch dropping off the table, goes inside to the lefty. Last time Ruggiero got the best of her, got the RBI single, but this time gets the K.
Pitch to Kennedy Harp is over for a strike. Count of 0-1. Harp in the top of the first, bounced into an inning-ending fielder's choice. But a dangerous hitter, marvelous athlete, this center fielder for Florida State. She takes a pitch up and in, even the count at 1-1. Like I mentioned last year, had a significant injury toward the latter part of the season, but managed to hit .412 as she grounds one to short into the hole. Long throw from Mailer is in time to retire Kennedy Harp and Florida State here in the top of the third inning. for Florida State. No runs a hit, no errors, one left. After 2.5, our score, Stanford 3 and Florida State 1. Florida State 1, and Jenna, the Stanford softball stadium, a thing of beauty. It took a lot of months, even multiple years of permits, approvals, but as a former player in the Stanford program, you had to appreciate every step of the construction, and now enjoying this beautiful jewel.
The investment is the biggest thing that stands out. Coach Alistair will talk about it, but so do the alumni. The fact that the institution, the athletic department, would invest in women's sports and specifically softball to put multi-million-dollar projects on the priority list. It's a really big deal.
Hanley's pitch to River Mailer is away and evens the count at 1-1. Mailer in the first inning singled, ultimately came around to score. Stanford, all three of its runs in the top of the first inning, or the bottom of the first inning, I should say, as Danley throws and it's low. 2-1. Stanford has had a penchant in this series for crooked innings as far as numbers on the scoreboard. 4 in the bottom of the 7th on Friday for the win. 7 runs, all 7 of the runs yesterday in the 4th inning, and then a 3 spot to begin this game. Danley's pitch, changeup, and it stayed up. 3-1.
As athletes, you try to break the game down, right? Otherwise, it can feel too big. You try to slow it down. You think about things pitch by pitch and even inning by inning. You try to win each inning. If you do that, you'll come out with the win at the end of the day. Stanford getting that first inning 3-1. Nothing across in the second. They have an opportunity to win this inning here.
And a pitch is wrapped to Jasoni Beecham. She one-hopped it nicely and throws over to first to retire the speedy River Mailer for the first out in the bottom of this 3rd inning.
That's why they call it the hot corner. That was hot off the bat of River Mailer, and a nice job just knocking it down, sticking with it by Jasoni Beecham. She's seasoned over there. She's an upperclassman, been holding it down at third base.
Brings Jade Berry to the plate, Stanford's number 5 hitter. Doubled in a run and scored herself in the 3rd inning. She takes a strike. Her older brother Jacob is knocking on the door of the big leagues. He was a first-round pick of the Miami Marlins in 2022. And he's currently with Jacksonville, hitting .300. He's a 3rd baseman. A change gets Berry to swing through it. She was early on that pitch.
Back-to-back off speeds. You have to do that, especially when this is game 3. Going up against these hitters, the second time that they have seen Danley in the circle this weekend.
As the soft rain resumes here at Stanford, and another change had Berry way out in front, and that swing was strike 3. That's 2 up, 2 down for Stanford here in the bottom of 3.
effective sequence there. This time goes up in the zone, some up spin to this one, but taking the off speed back to back to back against Jade Berry. Gonna keep throwing that until you see the adjustment.
Joey Economides now the hitter. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Economides, a modest statistical line here in her sophomore season after that tremendous freshman year last year. 356, 15 home runs for the sophomore. Takes a pitch low. The regional in Eugene, Oregon that Stanford was not able to emerge from last year. She had a 3-run home run and a grand slam in the same game.
One of the wildest regionals that we had seen in a while, and that's saying quite a bit with how college softball has evolved.
So Economides is inside. Count 2-1.
Economides approaches with the closed stance. She was kind of flying open a little bit, but she made a good adjustment last time.
She gets this ball back up the middle for a base hit. And so Stanford gets a 2-out single. Economides just playing pepper with that pitch. It's the 7th hit for Stanford. And that will bring Ava Gall to the plate.
She transfers better on that swing to poke it through the middle. It's tough getting anything past Isa Torres. Manages to do it.
Ava Gall to the plate. She grounded to first to end the first inning for Stanford. The 3-run outburst concluded with her ground out to first. Almost homered here last night. Hit the ball off the top of the center field fence. Bounced back into the field of play. She takes the first pitch low. And timeout for the moment now is the catcher, Maddie Fry. Goes out to the circle to talk with the infielders and the pitcher, Ashton Danley. Fry seems to be a personal catcher for Danley.
She was behind the plate Game 1 when Danley got the start, nearly went 6 innings. We've seen her as a pinch runner as well throughout this series. She has been the flex. Because Danley's a two-way player, she'll stick in the offensive lineup. Anna
Hind was the starter at catcher. She, of course, is eligible to remain in the game. Pitch to Gall is low. Count 2-0 now to the Stanford junior from Lakeside, California. Lakeside is about 20 miles northeast of San Diego, where she, like so many of these Stanford players, had a stellar amateur pre-college softball career. Danley's pitch, that one is low as well, and Danley's behind 3-0 to Ava Gall.
Talked about Gall's ability this weekend to see the ball really well. Been walked multiple times. Walk yesterday, a few the day before in Game 1.
3-0 pitch, that one was low. The last 3 pitches from Danley below the knees, and Stanford now has a runner in scoring position, 2 on in fact. Bring up Addison Shepard, who, and now we've got, looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter.
Yeah, looks like the freshman Izzy Kakatian is taking some warm-up hacks, but also a pinch runner, it looks like.
All kinds, of course, we know about Jessica Allister. She can be a mad scientist with that lineup card. And it looks like Sophia Jin, pinch running at second for Economides. Gall is at first, and Izzy Kakatian, a freshman, will come to the plate. She's hitting .317. Is this freshman from Torrance in Southern California? Kakatian 1 for 2 in the series. Started neither prior game, but got in to the game, and her one hit was a double. So we'll see if Stanford can capitalize on the maneuverings. Ashton Danley trying to snuff out a Stanford rally threat here. Her pitch is low, and Jenna, as we see Lonnie Alamedas come out, Danley seems to be wild low. with her pitches.
And you would rather miss down outside the zone than up, because once you elevate it, that's when balls tend to leave the yard. We've seen that a few times from this Stanford team. Kakatian has a few long balls in her back pocket this season as a freshman already. So I think in this moment, Lonnie Alameda, also the pitching coach for this Florida State squad, just having a moment with Danley to take a breath, take a break, get resettled.
3-1 Stanford leading, bottom of the third, 2 on, 2 out. Danley's pitch is chopped foul over to the third base coaching box. Count even up at 1-1.
Something that Lonnie Alameda has talked about with Ashton Danley is the commitment in the weight room that she has had, and just to taking care of herself. Because if you're going to play all of these positions and hit, you want to make sure you can contribute but still be effective in the circle towards the end of the season. So that longevity, that endurance is so key. 1-1
pitch to Kakatian on the inside corner, count 1-2. That's a point well taken, Jenna. If you're standing in right field a lot and you're pitching, both of which require use of the legs, demands muscles be strong. That's why pitchers often do a lot of running. The pitch is swung on a miss, a change, retired Kakatian, and retires Ricardo. When we come back, we will talk with Stanford head coach Jessica Allister. Her team leads Florida State. Going for a sweep is the Cardinal 3 and Cardinal 3 and Seminoles 1. As you look at Jessica Allister, former Stanford catcher, played on multiple World Series teams during her playing days, second team All-American in 2004 for the Cardinal, and now leading this Cardinal team in year number 9. Coach Allister, thanks for being with us. The big inning in this series, you had 3 in the top of the 6th, 3 in the bottom of the 6th on Friday night. The Grand Slam, obviously, 4 runs, 7 runs in the 4th yesterday for all your runs, 3 in the top of the 1st. Your team is putting together big innings offensively.
Thus far, yeah. We got a couple zeros up there now, though, so we're going to work to try to get another crooked number up there.
Yeah, and Coach, when you look at this series, a lot's already happened. You know, the weather delays, the exchanging punches back and forth with this ranked series. You already won the series, but what are the conversations like with this group to stay focused here and try to end on a strong note here in Game 3?
Yeah, we're only worried about today. And I think just trying to come out here, play a good game of ball, build on some of the things that we did well. work on some of the things that we want to get a little bit better at. You know, I think Anna's doing a good job out there in the circle, giving us a great start, playing some clean defense behind her. So just enjoying playing together and continuing to work to get better.
Thank you, Coach, very much.
Thank you.
Jessica Allister, and she hit on a key point, Jenna Becerra, my partner, and that is Anna Brewer has been kind of quietly the star of this game, has allowed just 1 run and 4 hits through 3 innings here in this third game of the 3-game set.
And that's been a bit of a theme for the Cardinal. They're known to pitch by committee. They've done it all season long. Very few complete games thrown by anyone on staff. But Perstyko going for a while. Bulanti eating up innings yesterday in relief. And now Brewer with this start here today.
First pitch from Anna Brewer to Haley Griggs is bunted at and bunted foul. Florida State trying to avoid a sweep in their first West Coast travel experience in the reconstituted ACC, with Stanford and Cal having joined the conference last year. Brewer's 0-1 pitch is popped up, and it's going to cue foul. Barry tried to run in and catch it. It was by popped up, it went about 15 feet high, and no chance really for the Stanford third baseman nor the catcher Gall to run over there and grab it.
That's a key aspect to Brewer's approach in this game so far. She's been getting ahead on hitters. She did hit 1 batter, so 1 freebie on the day, but she's been able to jump ahead mostly.
0-2 pitch to Griggs is inside 1-2. One of the great defensive plays all time for Florida State was in that 2018 World Series. Jessica Warren made a diving catch and a double play against Washington as this 0-1-2 pitch is skied to right field, but Kira Chan has a beat on it and retires Griggs for out number 1. 2018 Florida State, its national championship.
That was the first for the ACC. Not only the first,
and
for
the
Florida
only
State as a
the
program.
only one for the ACC
That's
thus
right.
far, which is a kind of a surprising stat.
And that was really the start of the rise of this conference. Now 5 teams in the top 25 rankings nationally.
Erin Heller, the batter, she takes a ball inside. She doubled, did Heller, and was retired at third base on a fielder's choice thereafter. In the second inning, we're now in the fourth. 3-1 Stanford leads. Pitch to Heller, that one's inside as well. 2-0 to the freshman from Iowa, state of Iowa. Florida State, it's not just players from Florida on this nationally ranked Florida State squad. Pitch is fouled off the screen. The count moves to 2-1. Good cut by Heller. Florida State has had just 2 coaches since the 1970s. Joanne Groff, who was tremendous in her time in Tallahassee, Florida State graduate, got her undergraduate there, her doctorate in education there. 30 years, almost 1,500 wins, as a ball is lined to left field for a base hit. As Heller follows up her double, her prior time up, with a single. 1 out base knock for the Seminoles.
That's on the inner part of the plate, turns on it really well, getting the hands inside, keep it well fair down that left side. She's feeling it right now. Heller of a game for Marin so far.
Yep, very, very good. Number 9 hitter is McKenna Sturgis. She was hit by a pitch her first time up. Brewer's pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen. Count of 0-1, and that looming in the on-deck circle is Isa Torres, whose batting average has dipped below 600 now. A great leadoff hitter and shortstop for Florida State. Pitch is blooped into center field, and it's in there for a base hit. As the runner at first base, Heller, advances to second. That ball not hit particularly hard, but it found some empty real estate. And just, Jenna, as we saw a couple of innings ago, Isa Torres is up there in a place to hurt Stanford. A couple runners on for Florida State.
We talked about how key it's been that they've been able to minimize Isa Torres, the solo shot, the only hit of the weekend for her.
Takes a healthy cut and fouls it out of play off to the left. This tremendous athlete, tremendous defensive player. She has speed, she has power with 9 home runs, a 600 batting average in April.
Well, now she's got runners on base. You know, as the leadoff, of course, you're the one trying to get on base. But now she has an opportunity to be incredibly dangerous.
Brewer's pitch is outside by about a foot. You wonder if Brewer is trying to pitch carefully to Torres, and that would be understandable. 1-1, that one's away as well. Clearly the game plan seems to be stay away from Isa Torres, although as the leadoff hitter last night, she took an away pitch over the left field fence. It's real hard to pitch to a player this talented at the plate. 2-1, that one is lifted left field, fairly deep. Back goes the left fielder, and this one is gone, and with one swing, Isa Torres puts Florida State ahead 4-3.
This is what the great hitters do. Her second home run of the weekend and showing off some power there to go opposite field. That pitch is elevated, really a mistake over the white of the plate, and Isa Torres makes Anna Brewer pay. This just kept carrying and kept going out there, and we talked about the damage she has. You knew she was going to come through at some point for Florida State.
Pitching coach Danielle O'Toole-Trejo out to the mound to talk with her pitcher. It's understandable to be shaken up when you give up a 3-run home run, but that's Isa Torres, who, by the way, now is in double digits. And I love what you said, Jenna, about in this spot, I'm not a leadoff hitter. I'm here for power. I'm here to hit the ball into the gaps or over the fence, and that's exactly what Isa Torres did.
Lonnie Alameda talked about how Isa Torres has tried to expand her zone. She knows I'm a junior. They know me now. You know, there's scouting reports, data. They're going to attack me, so let me make sure that I can cover everything top to bottom, east and west in the zone, and utilize all the options she has. She could very well come up and drop a bunt her next at-bat after that. She just has so many tools.
First pitch from Brewer to the number 2 hitter, Jason E. Beecham, is over for a strike. Brewer trying to regain her composure. That's what the pitching coach's visit was all about. Pitch is lifted over to the second baseman's head and into center field, just in front of the hard-charging Emily Jones. So that's another base hit for Beecham. That's her second.
This one's going to fall perfectly. Jones trying to get a beat on it, but just out of range there. Beecham has made those adjustments, and it looks like Stanford's going to do the same thing in the circle.
So that will be So we'll take a break right here and get ready to introduce you to the new Stanford pitcher, the second of the game. Middle of the fourth, top of the fourth inning, I should say. Florida State 4, Stanford 3 on the ACC Network Extra. Fourth inning, the middle of the top of the fourth inning here at Stanford Softball Stadium. John Platz along with Jenna Becerra. Pitching change for Stanford, the first pitching change of the game. Brings to the mound Alyssa Houston for the Cardinal, junior from Benton, Arkansas. This is her 21st appearance of the season. 3.64 earned run average, 2-2 record. She has 4 saves, 32 2/3 innings. Has walked 22 and struck out 38. Jenna, strikeout pitcher. She's battled injuries, but she's on the comeback and seems to be healthy. She's pitched prior in this series, and chance for her to help Stanford hold the line here.
She led the staff in ERA and strikeouts, as well as opponent batting average a year ago. She was out for nearly 3 weeks with an injury. Just last weekend coming back. It's a small staff, only 5 arms. And to not have the only upperclassman available, which is Alyssa Houston, it had been tough. So Coach Alster said having her back in the mix now has been a huge boost, not only for their performance, but also for morale in the clubhouse.
It's an early strike on Ashton Danley. Getting set is Houston for her second offering, and that one is grounded to first. Kern goes to second for 1. That's all she'll get. Nice defensive play by the Stanford senior first baseman.
This is an example of the defense that Kern can bring over there to the other corner. She spent a lot of her career over at second base. Coach Alster said she's been a game changer at first base, and you can see her feet and her range over there coming in handy to get that lead runner.
Brings to the plate Anna Hind, who takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Hind popped up and was retired on the infield fly in the first inning, fly to center in the third. 0-2. Houston's pitch on the way. That's over for a strike to even things up at 1-1. Seminoles 4, Stanford 3. A 3-run home run in this top of the fourth by Isa Torres has put Florida State in front. Houston's pitch is grounded weakly to short. Big scooped up there by Mailer. Over to first to Kern, and that will end things in the top of the fourth inning. But Florida State from a 3-1 deficit to a 4-3 lead on the home run by Isa Torres. We'll talk with head coach Lonnie Alameda when we come back. John Platz along with Jenna Becerra. We now have with us Florida State head coach Lonnie Alameda, native Californian, although I imagine home very much now is the Panhandle in Florida, with 18 years under her belt, 1,000 plus wins in her career. And Coach, can't say enough about your shortstop. When she hits leadoff, she tries to get on base. When you have a couple runners on and you need a power stroke from Isa Torres, she delivered in that top of the fourth inning.
Yeah, I mean, she's a definite talent and she's worked really hard to have a good junior year campaign here. And, yeah, glad she's on our team.
Yeah, seeing some adjustments offensively, but on the pitching side, you know, you're involved with them day in, day out. You know all their stuff. It's not easy going up against the same lineup so many times in a weekend. What do you want to see from your staff here on out to try to hang on to this win?
I mean, it's throwing punches, you know, so, and I think maybe changing the mindset of not trying to hang on, you know. I want to make sure that we're, like, attacking, you know, swings and attacking pitches and attacking defense. And when you get to this point, you know everything about each other here. So, you know, it's just more of like executing stuff and staying on the gas pedal. Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Lonnie Alameda, 7-time Jenna ACC Coach of the Year, 8 ACC regular season championships, 9 ACC tournament championships. She can coach.
She sure can. Got her career really going here at Stanford, too, on staff for multiple years before she became a head coach at UNLV and then, of course, made the move to Tallahassee. She helped bring this Stanford program from the club program that it was to the varsity program that it has been, even recruited head coach Jessica Allister in that process. They went to the World Series together back in 2001.
Sydney Boulafin, the hitter, tripled her first time up. Pitch from Danley, missed. The count runs 2-0. You could hear the competitiveness in Coach Alameda's voice. They don't want to just hang on. They want to attack. This is not Florida State to drop 2 games in a row. 2-0 pitch is grounded to first inside the bag and grabbing it deftly and recording the out by stepping on first base is the Florida State first baseman. For out number 1, that's Haley Griggs, 3 unassisted.
And what Coach has said is exactly right. You have to continuously be on the attack. You can't be too reactive. Of course, you have to see the ball, whether you're on defense or offense, and react accordingly, but you want to be the aggressor. You want to attack the zone, and Danley's doing a nice job of that in that first matchup there with Boulafin.
First pitch to Taryn Kern. Missed for a ball, 1-0. Have to pitch carefully to Kern. She has such a good eye, but has that great power. American candidate for sure. As the second pitch misses as well from Danley. Taryn Kern, raised in Stanford's backyard. San Jose Mitty High School, Archbishop Mitty High School, began her career at Indiana, where she was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in the last 3 years. Excelling for Stanford as the pitch stayed inside on 2-0. It's now 3-0 to the Stanford senior first baseman, who's played some second in her career and now has moved over to first defensively. Danley trying to preserve that 1-run lead. 3-0 pitch. Missed, didn't miss by much. Danley looks for an extra ticker to it. The plate umpire, Jonathan Dewhurst, but not in insulting fashion.
And as much as Taryn Kern can leave the yard, you know, leading this team and tied for 5th for single season records for Stanford in program history with 14 home runs. She's also leading the nation in active players for walks, and we just saw that in motion.
First pitch to Emily Jones is up, count of 1-0. One on, one out. Stanford, the tying run at first base. Corners shortening up for the very good bunting Jones as she offers and then pulls the bat back and takes it for a ball. 2-0. Jones, part of a senior class that would love to get back to Oklahoma City. Women's College World Series. Stanford is, as a program, has been there 4 times. Pitch is on the outside corner, 2-1. Stanford made it to OKC in 2001, 2004. Jessica Allister was a player in those years. And then 2023, 2024. So it's been recent for Stanford. They want to maintain that feeling. The pitch is offered at by Jones. That pitch was chest high and Jones unable to make contact. Count even up now at 2-2.
Jessica Allister gives a lot of credit to this senior class for that reason. They came in as freshmen and took this program back to the World Series for the first time in 19 years. They've been twice. They had a heck of a regional last year in Eugene. Big goals for this class for them to wrap up their collegiate careers.
2-2 pitch missed up and away, and so Ashton Danley has gone all the way to the senior Emily Jones. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It is low, ball 4. Good eye by Jones. And Danley, more than upset, and the plate umpire, Dewhurst, kind of shoots a look back at Danley. Pitch looked like it could have been a strike for sure. But back-to-back.
This is the 4th walk of the day, and that one down near the knees. And as a pitcher, you're going to want that pitch all day long.
Kira Chan is up now for Stanford. Changeup, and that one's low. And that will bring Lonnie Alameda out to the plate. And she has a couple words for the plate umpire as she walks out to the circle.
And that is a topic of conversation in college softball this season, is the zones feeling a little bit tight across the board this year. And that does make it tough on pitchers, especially in an era of softball where the hitting has just developed and evolved so much. They're too good. You can't just hit over the white of the plate. They are going to make you pay. So it's trying to attack the corners and live on the edges of the zone. And Lonnie Alameda talks about that as well. She said, I'm all for a tight zone. I like when hitters can hit, but give us a little something there on the pitching side is her take.
Some of the biggest names in softball. Jordy Fromm at Nebraska. Cavan at Texas. Pickens at Tennessee. Some great arms, as there always are in softball. Pitch to Kira Chan. That one's over for a strike to even the count at 1-1. Pitcher's so good that if you give them a wide strike zone, you might see no hitters in postseason games. 1-1 pitch from Danley. That's chopped over to second base. Only play is to first, and the throw successful from the second baseman Heller. Runners advance for Stanford.
This is a great job by Danley to produce this grounder. Chan getting on top of it, letting her defense work here to get that out at first base. But to do that, to make that adjustment after back-to-back walks, you have the conversation with your head coach. That's what you're looking for as the adjustment.
Pitch to River Mailer, took something off that pitch and got it over for a strike, did Ashton Danley. To River Mailer, who is 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the first, grounded it out to third in the 3rd inning. We're in the bottom of the 4th, 4-3 Seminoles. The 0-1 pitch is low and the count 1-1. River Mailer, a tremendous offensive year last year, 429, 6th highest batting average in Stanford history. She's fallen off a bit this year, 331, but has been a timely hitter. As she off the front foot pops it up on the infield. In comes the first baseman Griggs. She's under it and she makes the catch. So a good pitch, good bit of pitching by Ashton Danley there, retiring the 3rd hitter with 2 runners in scoring position. We've played 4 at the new Stanford Softball Stadium. Our score, Florida State 4 and Stanford 3. Stanford 3 as we head into what's the most exciting time of the year in softball, early May through early June. Jenna Becerra, we're looking at the key softball dates. It kicks off with Conference Championship Week.
They call it mayhem for a reason. The postseason starting that first week of May. Conference tournaments, an opportunity for teams to get hot, and then it's selection show on May 10th. Everyone finds out where they're going to go for regionals, super regionals the following couple of weeks before the World Series that starts at the end of May and goes into early June.
Bella Ruggiero to lead it off in the top of the 5th. As we look at the selection criteria, Ruggiero hits one to deep center field, but back there is Jones to make the catch. Jenna, as we look at the tournament selection criteria, things like RPI and 32 teams are going to be seeded this year.
For the first time, that is the case. Prior, it was only the top 16. Now the top 32. The top 16 still will be the ones to host for regionals, but they're going to look at your record, of course, strength of schedule, quality wins and losses, who those opponents are, and then, of course, on the road versus home, etc. RPI is some of the math that goes into it, as well as Diamond Sports Ranking, which for the first time this year will be included as part of the selection criteria, too.
Stanford currently 17 in the RPI, Florida State 12. Stanford would love to have a regional hosted here at Stanford, and you got to be in the top 16 seeds. You got to be a national seed to get that honor. Kennedy Harp at the plate now, the number 6 hitter for Florida State. Count is 1-1.
Top 8 seeds, if you hold, get to host super regionals too. So that is a key piece as well. That 8-9 super regional tends to be huge.
Ball from Harp lifted to left center field, but Jones got a good jump on it. Ball high in the air too, so she had time to circle under it. And a pair of fly balls to center field for Florida State in this to begin this top of the 5th inning.
It's a nice job by Alyssa Houston so far, coming in, doing her job.
She's retired the first 4 hitters that she has faced. As Houston, the junior. Pitch to Haley Griggs, missed, count of 1-0. Houston faced 11 hitters in her prior appearance this weekend. 2 innings, 2 hits, allowed just 1 run. Pitch is to Griggs, missed away, and the count is 2-0. Stanford trailing by 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. Houston trying to keep that Florida State score number at 4. The 2-0 pitch, that one missed.
And Houston brings a different look from Anna Brewer. We talked about early on the starter Anna Brewer with that down pitch, her drop ball really the go-to. Houston probably with the most velocity on this staff for Stanford and has some up spin. So totally different look, even though both coming from the right side.
3-0 pitch right down the middle. Taken all the way was Griggs, 3-1. Comes at you with a lot of body movement, a lot of force. Arkansas native, the junior. Houston's 3-1 pitch. That one was on the outside corner. And the count has gone all the way now to Haley Griggs. (3-2). That one is fouled off the screen along the right side.
Good defensive swing there from Griggs. Just try to get that pitch out of there so you live to fight for another one.
Florida State 36-6. But 2 of the losses, 2 of the 6 have been in the last 48 hours. Trying to stem that in this game. Another 3-2 pitch is fouled out of play. This one went over the screen and bounced on the concourse, and a fan did a nice play.
Quality at-bat so far for Griggs.
The pitches you see, the greater your chance to time one up. 3-1. That one outside by about 6 inches, and Griggs does a nice job of working a walk there, so a 2-out base runner for the Seminoles. As Jessica Allister out to the circle. And we will see Zoe Pristaiko. So we will talk about the Stanford sophomore who has pitched well this year. We'll talk about all the ways she has pitched well when we come back to Stanford Softball Stadium. The score remains Florida State 4, Stanford 3, top of the 5th inning. Zoe Pristaiko, who's had a heck of a year atop this Stanford pitching staff.
They call her Zoe per strikeout for a reason, leading the ACC in Ks so far this year, and the improvement from her freshman campaign to her sophomore campaign has been incredible. Doubled the strikeouts per 7 innings, essentially, as well as cutting nearly in half her ERA from a season ago, and she's coming from the left side, so another new look, but this Florida State offense has seen her already getting the start in Game 1.
Marin Heller, the hitter for Florida State. The strikeouts 1-0 pitch missed away. Count of 2-0. Florida State trying to expand on a 1-run lead and trying to avoid a sweep here at Stanford, having dropped the first 2 games. Pristaiko's 2-0 pitch. That one's over for a strike. Count of 2-1. The sophomore from Huntington Beach. Pristaiko, 2.94 earned run average, 31st appearance on the season. And as Jenna mentioned, the strikeout ratio is up, is way up. That pitch over for a strike, and the count has gone even now, 2-2.
Coach Alistair talks about how Pristaiko just went to work in the summer and the fall last year, took in all the information she learned as a freshman, knew where she needed to improve, and just got after it.
2-2 pitch is grounded outside third base and down the line. Barry guarding the line. That ball was fouled by about 4 feet. Count remains 2-2 to Marin Heller, who is 2 for 2, having a nice afternoon offensively. Doubled in the second and singled and scored in the 4th inning. She was on base when Issa Torres hit that go-ahead 3-run home run. That's the difference in the game thus far. Run shot by Torres, 4-3, FSU leading it. 3-2 pitch, chop foul.
It's a little bit different look, like we said, coming from that left hip, going in on the hands to Heller, so a little bit jammed up there. Pristaiko has developed a drop ball in the offseason coming in to this year that has been key as an option in her arsenal as well.
Love to get a strikeout here. 2-2 pitch on the outside corner, strike 3 called. And Zoe Pristaiko lives up to the moniker as she retires Marin Heller for the first time this afternoon. Going to the bottom of the 5th here at Stanford Softball Stadium. The score remains Florida State 4 and Stanford 3 on the ACC Network Extra. To the bottom of the fifth inning here at Stanford Softball Stadium. Florida State 4, Stanford 3. John Platz along with Jenna Becerra. And Jenna, a big thing happened after the game, and not just talking celebration as far as the outcome of the game, but more than that.
Athletes Unlimited Softball League now in its second season, and Taryn Kern received a golden ticket after game 1. That essentially means she has been selected in the college draft to play professional softball. The reveal will be on May 4th when everyone finds out what teams they're going to. But ESPN color commentator Amanda Scarborough was in the house covering the first couple of games for the network and was able to present her with that golden ticket, and she can play pro ball if she so chooses.
It was a golden moment for sure. Smiles, tears, a ground ball from Jade Berry to open the bottom of the 6th. A nice scoop by Isa Torres and an even better throw to first to retire the leadoff hitter for the Cardinal.
Isa Torres doing Isa Torres things, reads the hop there, comes up on her quickly, but sets her feet with a strong throw over to first base to finish it. That's one of the things that makes Isa Torres so good. Not only can she do it in the box, but she is fantastic with the glove.
Bring Joey Economides to the plate. The AUSL, more on that. Jenna, what, six teams? Salt Lake City, I want to say Portland, Round Rock, Oklahoma City, Chicago, Carolina. Yep. Opportunity for these great softball players in college to move up and continue plying their trade.
Yep, started off with 4 teams. And it was really a league that was on the move. They played in multiple locations across the country before settling down into their new locations.
Yeah,
now it's city-based this season for the first time. Across the country, multiple teams, multiple places that Taryn Kern and company could end up.
Economides takes the second pitch over for a strike as well, so it's 0-2 to the Stanford designated player, who's 2 for 2 on the afternoon with a pair of singles. Trying to get on base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Stanford down 1. Pitch is grounded foul past Jessica Allister, the Stanford head coach and third base coach on the field.
We talk about the power that Joey Economides has, as we should, especially with the 15 home runs she hit last year just as a freshman. But also the ability to get out of it a little bit, slight little slump that she has had, and just goes back-to-back singles here in this game. Hard on the ground, keeping it simple. Just trying to stick on that train and protect here with 2 strikes.
0-2 changeup and a beauty from Ashton Danley. Strike 3 called. Nothing Economides could do as she was locked up on that change of speeds by the Florida State veteran in the circle.
I don't think we've talked about the off speed enough from Danley. That is something that she has brought into the mix, and it has been incredibly effective since she came in on relief. That's something Lonnie Alameda talks about as well, the ability to throw pitches at different speeds and how key that is against some of the best hitters in the country.
First pitch to Ava Gall is over for a strike as Ashton Danley seems to have hit a groove here, a positive groove. Gall 0 for 1 with a walk in her prior trips. That pitch stayed low. Danley not pleased with some of these ball strike calls. It's part of the task of being a pitcher, trying to go with the flow if you disagree with a call. 1-1 offering, off speed and blooped over third base and into left field for a base hit. Jenna hitting off the front foot and successful.
Ava Gall able to learn from her teammates at bat right before her waits on the off speed here. You have to be on time. It's over the white of the plate, so she just extends the barrel through the zone, takes it opposite field. But a great job of adjusting to the change of speed.
Bring to the plate Addison Shepard, the hero of the Friday night game, the walk-off grand slam. Rare in softball, rare in baseball, and even rare for a freshman to do it. Shepard deposited one just inside the foul pole on Friday night to send everybody home happy that was wearing Stanford red. 9-8 Stanford victory as she takes ball 1.
I think a key thing about that moment is that she hadn't had a hit all day. She was pinch hit for earlier on in the game, but did not let that deter her. Just allowed herself to be present in the moment and to meet the moment.
Has an open stance, and then she closes the hip, which allows a spring of the hips and some power if she times it up well. She certainly did that Friday night off of Jazzy Francic, the the Florida State pitcher. And she bloops one into left field. Does Shepard, but catch made by the left fielder. Sturgis for Florida State. We've played 5 complete here at Stanford Softball Stadium. Florida State continues to lead the Stanford Cardinal by 1 run. The score, Seminoles 4, Cardinal 3. Well, how did we get here? Florida State in the top of the first inning. Bella Ruggiero with a run-scoring single, scoring Jason E. Beecham. Seminoles up 1-0, but Stanford had an answer in the bottom of the first inning as we see a base hit to left field. That was getting Taryn Kern home, that base hit, and now Jade Berry doubled as you see that one hitting the warning track. That got home Mailer. Then Joey Economides followed suit. She shot one through the 5-6 hole. That got Jade Berry home, and Stanford had the answer 3-1. But the 4th inning was Isa Torres with that 3-run home run to put Florida State instantly in the lead. Zoe Pristaico came on in the top of the 5th inning, continues out in the circle for the Cardinal. Kenneth Sturgis, the hitter, and she takes a strike, count even up at 1-1. That blast by Isa Torres, kind of stuff that National Player of the Years are made of, what your team needs when they need it. Pitch is popped up. Sturgis, as Kern retires, Sturgis with a catch, and we'll go back to Isa Torres. Here is that 4th inning highlight. Jenna?
And she just goes opposite field with it. That pitch is elevated, and she lifts it up over that left field wall. 2 hits in the series so far in this one. Both of them have left the yard. This time it was with runners on base to give her team the lead.
1 for 3 is the great Isa Torres in this game. Steicho's first pitch is inside. Torres plays with such energy, such passion, such joy. Defensively, doesn't have an error, and she plays shortstop, which you get a lot of chances there. So, I mean, it's a National Player of the Year type resume as she swings through and took something off pitch from Pristaico. 1-1 the count.
Lonnie Alameda talks about how proud she is of Isa Torres for managing the outside noise. When you perform the way that she has performed, history-making numbers.
She grounds one weakly to second base, however, on this trip, and Shepard gobbles it up, throws over to first. That's the 2nd out of this top of the 6th inning as Torres 2 for 10 in the series, which are not Isa Torres like batting average numbers, but both the 2 are home runs. So
she set an NCAA record with 16 straight hits.
In March, she did. Previous record was 13, so that's just part of the great 2026 campaign that Issa Torres is having. Jason E. Beecham, pretty fair All-American type player herself as she takes the ball high and away. Evens up the count at 1-1.
On her role in that first run that came across, which is the difference maker right now for Florida State, gets her first hit of the series to get on base. She's the one that comes around to score on that Bella Ruggiero RBI single. If she doesn't make that adjustment, Florida State's not in the position that they're in right now.
Beecham has had a vital role in this one. A couple of hits on the afternoon. She took that prior pitch away. 2-1 for Steico as she delivers. That one is popped in, or hit the center field and fairly deep. Jones going back to the wall. It is gone into the oak trees beyond the center field fence. So Jason E. Beecham takes Presteico deep, and Florida State doubles its lead, albeit from 1 run to 2, 5-3 Seminoles.
Jason E. Beecham showing off the power, goes to just about the deepest part of the ballpark. That was a mistake over the white of the plate in her wheelhouse, and she absolutely crushes it, showing off the power that she has. 34 home runs.
9th hit for the Seminoles to go along with the 5 runs. Presteico's pitch to Ashton Danley is low. So long ball, which helped Stanford last night, is helping Florida State this afternoon. 1-0 pitch, caught the outside corner to even the count at 1-1.
Beecham just did a great job of trending in the right direction. Back-to-back singles, then you unleash with that home run in that moment. Didn't get a hit the first couple of games, but still got on base via the walk. That's how you stay in it.
Off-speed pitch is up and inside from Presteico to Danley, and the count now 2-1. Two-one pitch is rolled over on by Danley as the ball is, the throw from second to first was misthrown, but it went into the dirt and it rolled to Taryn Kern to retire the side. So an unconventional 4-3 play. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning with Florida State now up by 2, Seminoles 5, and Stanford 3 on ACC Network Extra. Umpires are reviewing, and now we'll have a decision on that play a moment ago. The replay was requested. And the call is confirmed as out. So we will take leave for another moment and come back for the bottom of the 6th in just a moment. Once again, the score, Florida State 5 and Stanford 3. Glad you're with us on ACC Network Extra.
activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
To the bottom of the 6th inning, Florida State 5, Stanford 3. Seminoles trying to salvage one game of this 3-game series for the Cardinal. 6 more outs to play with in regulation. 9-1-2, the scheduled hitters, Bulifin, Kern, and Jones. Sidney Bulifin, who hit the 3-run home run last night as part of that electric 4th inning, 7-run 4th inning. She swings and misses on the first pitch from Ashton Danley, count of 0-1.
I had a chance to talk with Sidney Bulifin after the game yesterday, and she talked about making adjustments from at-bat to at-bat. That's what she did to execute in that moment yesterday, and that's what she's going to look to do here to get her potential second hit of the game.
0-1 pitch is over for a strike, and Bulifin in a hole. 0-2. You can find that interview on X. I saw it. Jenna, nicely done. Trying to stay alive, Bulifin here. 0-2 pitch off speed, and Bulifin just does get a piece of it, fouls it off the screen. Count stays 0-2. Stanford will host North Carolina State here at Stanford Softball Stadium next weekend, and then 2 weeks from now, Stanford will play Cal here, but it'll be a Cal home series. More on that in a moment. Unusual state of affairs. 0-2 pitch bounces on the plate. Cal series will be interesting, Jenna.
It certainly will. Technically, it will be a home series for the Bears, as you mentioned, because they are actually getting their stadium renovated this season. So they've been playing at Sacramento State. They've been playing at West Valley College for their quote-unquote home series in the ACC. They were thinking about doing that again, hosting Stanford, but figured, well, this Stanford softball stadium is just going to be sitting there, so we might as well utilize it. So they will be here at the end of April for the rivalry.
Stanford players get to be in their own beds, as they say, the rest of the month of April. Ball grounded foul from Bulifin. Stays alive 1-2. Stanford will have midweek games. They'll have a road game at Fresno State upcoming.
When Stanford and Cal met at the end of opening weekend here in a non-conference matchup, pretty rare, but the last time was last year at the Big Swing, making that NCAA attendance record, over 13,000 fans, and the vast majority of games this year for Stanford here at home, utilizing the new softball stadium as much as possible. They only went on a couple of road trips. They went to Louisville, made one long spring break trip to go to North Carolina and Duke and face East Carolina in the midweek, and then they'll go to the ACC tournament early May.
32, you saw the graphic a moment ago, 32 of the 48 scheduled here at Stanford Softball Stadium as Bulifin stays alive 1-2 with a foul off the screen. 5 runs, 9 hits for the Seminoles, 3 runs, 8 hits for Stanford. Neither team has committed an error this afternoon. But for Stanford, the next 2 weekends, a chance to move even higher in the ACC standings if Stanford can win, and that chance to get a top 16 seed. Off speed and over for strike 3. A beautiful pitch from Ashton Danley that time to retire Sidney Bulifin.
That off speed continues to be effective. She has frozen in place some of these Stanford hitters. And Bulifin buckles at the knees a little bit there as that one comes across in the lower part of the zone.
Back to the top of the order, and Taryn Kern, who is 1 for 2 officially. A walk included among the 3 trips to the plate. She takes the first pitch low. Count of 1-0. Kern has never missed a game in her collegiate career at Indiana, her freshman year, and the 3 years here at Stanford. Started every game, hasn't missed a game. Pitch is off speed and in the dirt. And count 2-0 to the Stanford senior. His father played at Gonzaga, and now a meeting in the circle. Patty Fry, the catcher, along with Danley and the 4 FSU infielders.
This is always encouraging to see if you're the coaching staff for Florida State, to see a player-initiated conversation. Your catchers need to be leaders on the field, especially when managing different pitchers. So to see Fry take that initiative, that's good leadership.
Favorable count for Kern here, 2-0. Stanley into the windup and delivers. That ball wrapped foul over toward the Stanford dugout. Count goes to 2-1. Florida State will have 3 more series, ACC series, after this one. They'll host North Carolina next weekend in Tallahassee. Then the following weekend they go to Georgia Tech, and the weekend after that close out the regular season at Boston College. Seminoles have played 3 fewer conference games than the Cardinal to this point. Pitch on the way inside. The count goes to 3-1. Stanford looking to bring the tying run to the plate if Kern can get aboard.
That is an interesting thing about Stanford's schedule, is they do have a bye in terms of regular season ACC play. That last weekend right before the tournament. So trying to maintain momentum through that.
And that ball hit to left center field and deep and gone. Taryn Kern with her 2nd home run of the series, number 15 on the season, RBI number 38, and the Cardinal 1 run closer. It's 5-4 Florida State.
There's a reason why the leadoff hitter for Stanford is leading this squad in RBIs. Taryn Kern just showing off the pop. This is her 15th home run of the season. She tied the single season record a year ago with 19. She is trending in that direction now. That's the life that Stanford needed right now.
And that was a no-doubter the opposite way. So Cardinal now within a run. And Emily Jones, the number 2 hitter, trying to get on base. Keep the rally going. Off speed from Danley and over for a strike. Count of 1-1 of the Stanford senior center fielder Jones, who has been to the plate 3 times and he has yet to have an official plate appearance. She sacrificed in the 1st and walked in each of the 2nd and the 4th innings. Off speed to Jones. That one stayed up. Check it. I guess the prior pitch was a strike, so its count is even up at 1-1, or is the scoreboard wrong? We'll find out momentarily. Emily Jones hitting .389 coming into the game. Pitch is off speed and chopped over to first, but it's a couple feet outside the foul line. 1-2 the count.
This is where Jones has an opportunity to essentially be another leadoff hitter. She's got 2 strikes, so she's got to protect. Takes out the bunt as the option.
Well, and a great stolen base threat. She's 10 for 10 in steals. Count 2-2 now as that 1-2 pitch missed away. Jones, 2nd team All ACC a year ago, as she's hit by the pitch. And Jenna, your prescription happened, not via the walk, but via the hit by pitch for Emily Jones. That's the 3rd time this year that she's been hit by pitch.
It looks like it caught her on the back leg there. And that's really doing your job as you're that secondary leadoff in this situation, the 3rd time that she's on base. And she really was the ultimate 2-hole initially to lay down that sack, so very productive for her to get on the base paths.
Jessica Alistair sends her. Kira Chan at the plate. Ball is cued to 2nd base. Heller's up with it, throws to 1st to retire Chan. First pitch swinging was Kira Chan, and she becomes the 2nd out. But
yeah, off the end of the bat there. So a lot of spin on that though. So someone like Heller, you got to stay down and stay focused to see the ball all the way in the glove and all the way out. She does a nice job making it look easy.
River Mailer at the plate. Tying run at 2nd base for Stanford now. Off speed. The delivery from Danley, and it was high. Count of 1-0. Florida State 5, Stanford 4. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Tying run in scoring position, 2 outs. Number 4 hitter up. It's a beautiful thing.
And she bloops it in over second base and into center field, base hit, and that will get the tying run home. River Mailer does the job as Jones scores.
High pressure moments and delivering. River Mailer, middle in on this pitch, lines it out into right center field. Plenty of time for Jones, the speed to come across home plate. But talk about Kira Chan as well, putting the ball in play and moving Jones over to put her into scoring position. Every piece mattered as they put the puzzle together to manufacture that run.
Jade Berry at the plate takes a ball, 1-0. Berry struck out, was way out in front on a changeup. Berry on the afternoon is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Pitch is hit to right field, but it's not deep. It's medium depth right field, and under it is the right fielder Ruggiero to retire the side. But Stanford dials up a 2 spot to get this game even after 6. Florida State 5, Stanford 5. Come back and join us for the 7th inning on the ACC Network Extra. Inning here at Stanford Softball Stadium, and a good one has been brewing and is brewing. 5-5 our score. 9 hits for Florida State, 10 for Stanford. And how will this one end? Of course, we had some drama Friday night with a walk-off grand slam. Florida State trying to salvage one game of this 3-game series. They begin this 7th inning with Anna Hind at the plate, the number 4 hitter, who is 0 for 3. Against Zoe Pristaiko, who is the young woman you want on the plate if you're a Stanford fan, as she deals strike 1, 1-1. The jump she has made, this sophomore from Huntington Beach, to become the de facto ace of this Stanford staff. Swung on and missed as Pristaiko took something off that pitch, 1-2.
Adding dimensions to her repertoire. We talked about the development of the drop ball in the offseason, but changing speeds a little bit more than she did earlier in her career as well. So crucial to keep the hitters off balance.
That 1-2 offering was wasted away. A good foot outside, count of 2-2. Florida State trying to get a runner on base. Here comes the 2-2. That one clearly outside, and Pristaiko has gone all the way to Anaheim, the freshman from Charlotte Christian High School. Two-time high school All-American at 6'79" as a senior last year. 3-2 pitch missed, and Florida State indeed does have that runner, leadoff runner on base.
That was going to be a crucial pitch either way, either result that came out of it. Seminoles with an opportunity now, and of course they're going to put some speed on the base paths. Why not when you have no outs?
Yeah. It'll be Maddie Fry, the catcher, as Hind is a designated player, so Hind is allowed to go in and run.
Yeah, some of the changes being made. So Hind started behind the dish. Danley was the DP. Once Danley went in to pitch, Hind became the DP, and becoming the flex was Fry, who is now able to pinch run over at first base. So
it's like chess.
it is,
It's
truly.
like, you know,
Chess, not
you
checkers.
Yeah, you got to be 3 moves ahead, and you've got to know all the pieces and what the rules are attached to those pieces. I marvel at these college coaches. And that pitch is line foul, just missed the right field line as the hitter Ruggiero turned on that one, but was about a foot too quick. Ruggiero, RBI single in the first, struck out and fly to center. Trying to put Florida State ahead or get them closer to being ahead. Nobody out in the top of the 7th here as she wraps it into center field, but right there is Jones. Now she caught it and fumbled it. The question is, did she lose it on the exchange? And now the throw back into the infield gets away, but no chance for an advancement. And now Kern runs to second base just in case. It's a force out, and what's the call on the field? Is it a catch and a fumble on the exchange, in which case it's an out?
Yeah, the umpires are going to have a much needed conversation about it. My read live full speed was that it was a catch, and then on the transition out of the glove to try to make the throw is when the drop happened.
Agree with you.
Cardinal trying to cover their bases literally, and we can take another look here. And Emily Jones, of course, covering the ground, no problem at all. So it looks like she makes the catch and then goes for the transfer.
Sometimes they call it transfer, sometimes exchange from glove to throwing hand.
But it looks like after Taryn Kern trying to secure the out over at second base to get the force, that's what it's going to be.
All right, so interesting. So it's a fielder's choice, or is it not? Fry is still at first base.
Fry is still over at first base.
Yeah, so that's not. It is a fly out to center, and now Kennedy Harp, the hitter.
It is a fly out to center, yes.
And so 1 out, run on as we resolve all of that. It's a hard hit ball to center, and again, Emily Jones does a good job of being able to read those. Sometimes those are knuckling, sometimes they can take off on you, and she had a beat on it as Hart fouls it off the screen. Count runs 1 and 2, so a chance for Zoe Prostaiko to ring up another K or a KC as it appears on one's score sheet. Be a big moment for a strikeout. Harp is a dangerous hitter. Pitch is a defensive swing and fouled off the screen from Harp.
Have to give some credit to Maddie Fry on the base paths because that was not easy to read on that last play whatsoever. It did look like a catch, so she made her way back to first. Taryn Kern wanted to make sure they got the out either way, so she of course runs over and steps on the bag. But Fry doing a nice job just trying to stay heads up there.
1-2 to Harp, off speed, but it stayed up. Count of 2 and 2 to the junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia. Does have home run power in her career, 18 home runs in her 2+ years for the Seminoles. 2-2 is low and inside, and count is run full. To Hart. This is where experience comes in for Prostaiko. All the innings that she's worked, albeit just a sophomore. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Took something off. Snap throw to first, not in time. But a big second out for the Cardinal and Zoe Pristaico here in the top of the 7th.
Big moment. Breaking up and in into Harp. Not afraid to just attack in that moment. Huge strikeout.
So Haley Griggs will be at the plate now. She is 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch is high. Count them 1-0.
And as much as you, of course, let the defense work, produce ground balls and pop-ups, sometimes getting that out at the plate is just what the doctor ordered.
Meeting in the circle now. Pristaico first conversing with the catcher Ava Gall, and then each of the infielders slapping gloves with each of the 4 infielders. Stanford team has a vibe. They know the meaning of this series and the standings for the objective of trying to get a national seed and move up to the top 3 or 4 or higher in the ACC standings. You need to retire this 3rd hitter in the top of the 7th. Pitches inside to Griggs. Count of 2-0.
And it's a balance. Trying to stay locked in, of course, but trying to stay loose at the same time. That's where you're going to get your best ball.
Pristaico looks confident, looks relaxed. 5-5 tie, top of the 7th, I should say. That pitch is up and away on 2-0, and it's now 3-0, and Pristaico in danger of putting a Florida State runner in scoring position, and that would be the go-ahead run. Real pitch, missed up and away, and indeed Florida State puts the go-ahead run at second base. That's Maddie Fry. And Griggs takes her walk to first. That's her 2nd bases on balls of this game, and that'll bring up Marin Heller, or Marin Heller, I should say, who has a 2 for 3 afternoon going as Danielle O'Toole Trejo to the mound to talk to Pristaico. Jenna, what do you think this could be about? Because the hitter is a familiar one, it's not a pinch hitter.
Familiar hitter, so you're talking about the plan, but I think the concern and the reason to, in this moment, choose to come out and have the conversation is that was a 4-pitch walk. So yes, you got the strikeout before that, but then 4 straight balls, you want to make sure, okay, we don't want to let this get away from us here. Let's attack the zone. And so you take that moment to have that conversation.
Heller is having a heck of a freshman year. 367 coming into the game. First pitch is outside with some velocity, count of 1-0. Heller just 1 home run, does have 14 doubles though and 3 triples, so she can get the softball to the fence or over it. 1-0 pitch is chopped to third. Barry has it on a couple hops, steps on third, and Stanford gets that 3rd out. And for Stanford, a chance to win it in the bottom of the 7th inning. Through 6.5 at Stanford Softball Stadium. Florida State 5, Stanford 5 on ACC Network Extra. Jenna, a chance to make this an ultra special weekend. So Cardinal got the 2 runs it needed in the bottom of the 6th to get this one even.
Tying it up, and who else but Taryn Kern with the solo shot, but then another senior All-American taking advantage of Emily Jones in scoring position and hits one into the outfield to bring her across and make it a tie ball game. Game 1 was the walk-off. Can they do it again here in Game 3?
And yes, Addison Shepard will get a shot here in the bottom of the 7th for the Cardinal. 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Joey Economides, the designated player. Ava Gall, the catcher. And Addison Shepard, the scheduled hitters for the Jessica Allister. Economides at the plate against Ashton Danley. And the first pitch over for a strike. Economides 2 for 3. Singled her first 2 times up, called out on strikes the most recent at bat in the 5th inning. Of course, she can end it on 1 swing. That's the capability. 1-0 pitch, missed. Apparently low in the count, 2-0. Well, for Stanford, just get someone on base. See if you can get the big swing or station to station. That the objective for Joya Economides here is to get 90 feet or more. 2-0 pitch, missed low. Or check it, 2-1. The umpire doesn't always raise the right hand, or maybe he did and I missed it. So it's 2-1.
Economides going to want to keep an eye on and be ready for the off speed. It's what got her last time looking back in the 5th.
2-1 pitch, that one is over for a strike. And the count 2-2. All 3 outfielders within 1 step of the warning track. The center fielder Harp shaded to right center, interestingly enough. Which is low, and Danley has gone all the way now to Economides. So part of what makes softball so great. 3-2 tie game, bottom of the 7th. What's the pitch that the veteran Danley will throw to the sophomore Economides? Pitch is wrapped to third base. Nice scoop by Beecham, and throw across is in time. Jenny, you've talked about the soft hands of Beecham. Another example right there.
Yeah, I have to pick that off the hop so we can see there's something behind this too, and she makes sure that she actually moves through her feet to make that throw over to first base. Makes it look super easy and routine, but it's little things that add up there.
Left side of that Seminole infield, so talented offensively and defensively, is Ava Gall at the plate for Stanford. She takes a fastball over for a strike. Gall officially 1 for 2, singled in the 5th inning, walked in the 3rd, grounded to first base in the 1st inning. Pitch is over for a strike as well as Danley jumps ahead of Ava Gall, 0-2.
Nice job by Danley to jump ahead here. She was behind to Economides, went deeper in the count, but now in the driver's seat.
0-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed as Ashton Danley able to retire Gall on 3 pitches.
Danley just dominated that sequence, a 3-pitch strikeout. That's the attack mentality that Lonnie Alameda was talking about she wanted from her pitchers and the whole team.
Brings Addison Shepard to the plate. Shepard 0 for 3 this afternoon. First pitch is very high and the count 1-0. You can bet that Danley remembers the conclusion of the game on Friday night where Shepard deposited the ball over the left field fence for a walk-off grand slam. Shepard open stance. Pitch is grounded right back to Danley. She jogs over to first base, underhands it to her teammate Griggs, and this one is going to go extra innings. We've played 7 and we're gonna play more. Florida State 5, Stanford 5. We'll take you to the top of the 8th when we come back on ACC Network Extra. We're playing extra innings here at Stanford Softball Stadium in this third game of the three-game series between 9th-ranked Florida State and 23rd-ranked Stanford. 5-5 our score. John Platts along with Jenna Becerra. As the top teams in the ACC have won today. Duke, a winner over North Carolina. They're 12-3 in the conference race. Virginia Tech, 11-4. They won over Virginia today. Louisville, a winner over Notre Dame. They're 10-5. Florida State trying to stay atop the conference with just 2 losses. And Stanford trying to stay within hailing distance of those top teams by staying at 6 losses and getting their 12th win. Let's see how it shakes out. Shelby McKenzie to pinch hit now for Florida State. First pitch is grounded into the hole. It's short. Mailer, long throw to first, is not in time as McKenzie batting for Sturgis legs out an infield single and an important leadoff hitter on base.
This is deep in the hole, a long throw for River Mailer, just a touch of a hesitation to get that throw off the stretch from Kern attempting, but McKenzie taking advantage of the opportunity and getting that much needed base runner.
Well, that brings Issa Torres to the plate for Florida State, which is, if you're a Stanford fan, the feared one. And interesting, her stance not as open. Well, now it is open as against Pristryko. First and third, as a bunt attempt is bunted at and missed by Torres. The first baseman and third baseman were closing in, expecting a bunt, and Torres offered at it and missed it.
And that's what you're going to see from the defense. The general rule for the corners is don't get beat in front. If they hit it past you, tip your cap at them. They've earned it in that case. But the corners are always going to be ready to charge.
So it's a heavy execution at bat here for Torres. She's got great speed, able to leg out any kind of bunt or infield hit. The 1-1 offering from Pristryko. That one is low and inside, and the count 2-1. Pristryko, understandably, trying to pitch carefully to this great hitter for Florida State, Issa Torres. But you don't want to be too fine. You don't want to be too careful. 2-1. That's hit to first. Kern, the second one, no chance to get the speedy Torres at first base, but mission accomplished, Jenny, you might say, just getting Torres out of the batter's box without further damage done.
This is what Coach Alister's talking about in terms of Taryn Kern being a game changer over at first base. The athleticism there as a former second baseman, knowing the situation ahead of time, little spin move action to get that lead runner.
A fine defensive play by Kern. Now Jason Beecham is at the plate. She homered her last time up. First pitch is a ball from Pristryko. Outfield continues to be deep. No gap defense in the outfield. 1-0 is outside. Count 2-0 now to Beecham, and now Gall will go out to the circle for a quick word with Pristryko.
And she's coming up on 50 pitches thrown and just under 3 innings pitched. So getting a little bit behind in the count. That does add to the pitch total. It lets the hitters see more pitches off of you. Trying to settle in.
Pristryko's worked every game of this 3-game set. And Stanford has only 5 pitchers that it has on the roster. That pitch from Pristryko, that one was up and away, and the count now 3-0 to Beecham. And we'll see if the third baseman, the junior third baseman, is taking all the way here, 3-0. Indeed, she's taking. That pitch just caught the outside corner. Count of 3-1. Beecham, 50 RBIs this season, 45 last year, 66. And that's pitch is a strike and a throw down to second base, and they got her. And Issa Torres hobbling a little bit. They're going to replay this one. It was a strike 2 call.
And the throw down there, beautiful, but does the tag reach? That front foot kind of up in the air there, so they're going to take another look, I'm sure, as they have a conversation. Torres thinking that her folded leg, that back leg, actually may have gotten there before the tag was applied, but an absolute laser from Ava Gall.
Torres 11 and 12 in stolen bases. That would be her 12th if successful.
And if the call stands as it was initially ruled on the field.
Pitch I thought was ball 4, but they called it a strike, and
it's crucial. This out would be absolutely crucial, keeping one of the fastest runners on the team out of scoring position. So if we take another look, there's a beautiful throw from Gall. Watch, the front foot kind of goes elevated. Don't know if the cleat touches that glove right there, or if the tag's not applied. It still hasn't been apparently right there. That back leg, parallel with the bag, might slide in time.
It's interesting. I think her spike caught, which led to the soreness in the ankle that she exhibited. And the tag, the question is, did that front foot get to the bag before the back of her hamstring was tagged? This one literally is too close to call from where we are. And you hear the crowd, the Stanford partisan crowd, confirming that indeed Ava Gall threw out the speedy Isa Torres on a straight steal attempt.
Massive out for the Cardinal. This makes it 2 outs, nobody on in this situation versus what could have been a runner in scoring position with only 1 out. With the core of your batting order coming up and up right now with Jason E. Beecham.
Count is 3-2, but now there are 2 outs and more importantly, nobody on. Beecham again, a threat at any at bat to take a pitcher deep. Flaco has to put some thought into this pitch. 3-2, swung on and missed strike 3. That would have been ball 4. But Flaco gets the strikeout, and Stanford will have a chance to walk this one off in the bottom of the 8th inning. Scheduled hitters for Stanford, 9-1-2 when we come back to Stanford Softball Stadium, Florida State 5, Stanford 5. Stanford 5, bottom of the 8th inning. John Platts along with Jenna Becerra as Stanford trying to walk this one off and sweep the 9th-ranked Florida State Seminoles and make this a memorable first year of the refurbished stadium game and series. Sydney Bulafin to lead it off for this Cardinal, and she lifts one foul and out of play along the right of the left field side. 0-1 the count. Ashton Danley has gone 6 innings in relief. Faced 28 batters, her pitch count over 100 now. Doolefin, home run power as she demonstrated yesterday. She grounds one to short. Torres has it, up with it. Strong throw to first in time. The excellent arm of Torres. And Florida State able to retire the leadoff hitter for Stanford in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that will be all for Ashton Danley. And understandably so, with pitch count getting over 100, and that will bring to the circle the starting pitcher in last night's game, Bella Dimitrievich, the freshman from McKenna, Illinois, where she was a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year. In the game last evening, she went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 4 hits. She walked 3 and struck out 2, and she's being called upon here now to get Florida State out of the bottom of the 8th and into an additional frame. Yeah, and of course, the Taryn Kern home run, Jenna. I mean, a frequent occurrence and at a big moment in this game.
Yeah, she did it. Game 1, going yard to the right side of the field this time, goes opposite. So showing off that gap-to-gap power that she has. And this is a big moment back to the top of the order. The Cardinal have already been through 4 times. This is the 5th time they're going to see Florida State pitching. But now an opportunity for Dimitrievich to bounce back from yesterday.
Taryn Kern with a chance for some extra inning heroics. She is officially 2 for 3 on the afternoon with a couple of runs scored. Of course, the big home run her last time up. Singled and scored in the first, called out on strikes in the second, walked in the fourth. Was left on base and then homered back in the 6th. So 1 out, nobody on, 5-5 tie, each team with 10 hits. Neither team has committed an error. Dimitrievich deals a pitch outside and count 1-0.
Dimitrievich, somebody who Lonnie Alameda says has all the tools to be amazing. He's been building up some confidence in her freshman season, and the thing that they're working on together is executing the pitches with knowledge, not just throwing, but pitching, knowing why you're throwing that pitch, where you're going to do it, how you're going to beat the hitter. And that's something she's working on to elevate her game in the circle.
1-1 pitch to Kern, check swing, did not go around, pitch was up and inside, count of 2-1. Stanford has pinch running opportunities should Kern get on base, and she lifts one foul along the third base line. Over is Beecham, and does she make the catch? I am screened out. Apparently she did. Fine play by Jason Beecham.
And you can see it from this angle, right on the wall. Beecham with the effort. Not sure if it touched that wall, and I think Coach Allister may have some questions about it, but a nice effort regardless from Beecham when the game is on the line.
You can't make a bank shot catch, I don't think. You got to catch it, got to go glove. That's got to be the first contact with the softball before it hits the ground or some item of boundary.
And I think it hit her glove first, but when it bounced out before she regained control, that might be when it hit the wall potentially. So you see it right there. Maybe it hits the wall there, maybe it doesn't. Hard for us to see. But then right there, did it hit the wall anyway, regardless of what it did on the first touch.
On that replay, it looked like she had it in glove, bobbled it, but there was no assistance from the wall to make the catch, in the sense that the ball didn't hit the wall. The glove had that support, but I don't think that matters.
Well, luckily the umpires are going to have more angles than what we even have available for TV, DV Sport, and some of the technology that they have set up. They can take a look multiple times, different angles.
It was a gutsy play by Beecham going over to the padded area, but she wasn't jogging over there. She was running, and she knows the importance of retiring a Taryn Kern.
I love seeing the joy from Isa Torres too, just fired up about the play, about the effort that her teammate made.
Well, that first,
I think there's still a couple different parts that they're looking at, whether or not it actually hit the wall. And we're seeing the replay on the video board here in venue at Stanford Softball Stadium. Did she trap it when she first made contact and get that glove between the ball and the wall? And then when it came out, did it hit the wall or not? And we're going to get an answer.
Alistair seems to like the verdict.
Looks like it's a foul ball.
So the would-be catch is not a catch, and Kern is back up there. Count now of 2-2. So for Dmitrievich, this is a lock-in moment. You've been not pitching for about 4 minutes, and you do not want to groove one to Taryn Kern. Nobody on, one out. Bottom of the 8th, a 5-5 tie. Stanford and Florida State. 2-2, lifted foul and out of play again over to the left side. That one is on the berm where some young fans have congregated. This is the largest crowd of the 3 nights, or the 3 days, I should say, the 3 games this weekend.
Over 1,000 fans for game 1. Pretty exciting. Obviously a ranked matchup. A lot of ACC implications as well.
An all-time outcome and an all-time after-game moment. 3-2 pitch is, or 2-2 pitch, I should say, is up and inside, and Dmitrievich has gone all the way to the dangerous Taryn Kern, who will have a professional softball career in receipt of a golden ticket. And she takes ball 4. That's what she does. So Kern jogs to first base. Stanford has the game-winning run aboard. And the right young women scheduled hitters with Jones, Chan, and Mailer scheduled, and no pinch runner. Kern has enough native speed. Emily Jones, the hitter, she bunts, pops it up, but it's not caught by Hind, the catcher. Hind is back behind the plate now that Danley has ended her work for the day. Maddie Fry is her personal catcher by preference, and Hind was the starter, and she's back in there. Pitch to Jones, fouled off the screen. Sort of an inside-out swing that time. Count 0-2. Dmitrievich with an opportunity here for a big second out.
Solid approach so far to go out and attack. You allow the walk, free base runner, and a good response so far.
A lot of pressure for a freshman. Pitches foul back to the screen. Jones stays alive, 0-2, but Dmitrievich with a great pre-college career to this point in her athletic life. The 0-2 pitch was away, and count is 1-2. Outfield not quite as deep for Emily Jones. She doesn't have the power that some of her upper-class compatriots in the order have. She lifts one to center field. And one hops off the chest of Harp, and that will allow Jones to go to second and Kern to third. That was a serve shot to center field, and Harp was caught in between diving and playing it off the bounce.
A well-placed ball here from Emily Jones. What an at-bat coming back from 0-2. And that slight bobble giving some opportunity for the Wheels with Emily Jones to put not one but two runners in scoring position. And a good read on the base paths by Taryn Kern as well, making sure to see that ball down before and still having that two-base mentality.
So a huge play for Stanford, and you can't fault Harp in center field, because if you dive and it goes past you, game over. So
You're
you've
the
got
last line of defense, that's right.
So now a real opportunity for Stanford as the infield's going to have to come in. There's no force at the plate. Second and third, one out. The hitter is Kira Chan. Pitches outside.
It looks like they're going to walk her intentionally.
That pitch was way outside, and Hind isn't even in a crouch. So indeed, they're going to set up that forced play at the plate. Forward wide one's going to be issued. You wonder, Jenna, in Major League Baseball, they just kind of point and you go to first. In softball, they have not yet migrated to that.
I'm a big proponent of forcing the pitcher to execute the pitches. If you want to put them on, make sure you execute every single pitch. And we've seen in college softball moments where mistakes, you get knocked around a little bit. We saw it at the World Series last year. Reese Atwood did it when Nigel Kennedy tried to walk her.
Here comes the fourth wide one. So now you have a situation where the outfield needs to come in. A deep fly ball, forget about it. The game's over anyway. So the outfield will come in. The infield will be in. And River Mailer, yet another senior, has a chance to sweep this one into the victory column for the Cardinal. Okay, and we've got a pitching change, and that means we'll take a break with our score remaining. Florida State 5 and Stanford 5. Come back for the remainder of the bottom of the 8th on ACC Network Extra. Circle as Ashton Danley back out there after having thrown 103 pitches and giving away to Dmitrievich. She's back in there. The veteran savvy needed here as Stanford is in a golden opportunity here to get a sweep. Bases loaded, one out, 5-5 tie, bottom of the 8th inning. The cleanup hitter, River Mailer, at the plate.
Mailer coming off an RBI single her last time up.
5 infielders, just 2 outfielders. First pitch from Danley. Ground back to the pitcher. Danley will go home, force at the plate as Danley gets the pitch she wanted in a fine defensive play. That one could have shot through her legs, and that would have been game over. But fine defensive play by the veteran Florida State left-hander. And that is a big second out.
Yeah, one pitch, able to execute, and Danley sticking with it. Didn't even reset her feet because she knew she didn't have the time. Just got rid of it and made the accurate throw home.
So that'll bring Jade Berry to the plate for Stanford. She lines it to center field, base hit, and the Cardinal has swept away the Seminoles. First pitch to Jade Berry, served into center field, and for the second time in 3 games, Stanford walks it off against Florida State. And Jenna, you don't want to say in early April that there's a signature game or series in the first year of the refurbished Stanford softball stadium. Well, guess what? Stanford has just knocked off a top 10 team and swept them in 3 games.
The first 2 games were cinematic. Why wouldn't the third one be? Absolutely digging deep, the Cardinal, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And Jade Berry turning on this elevated pitch and knows immediately. Number 1, hand in the air, knows what she did for her team. And everyone is fired up. There was pitching coach Danielle O'Toole-Trejo, fist pumps and hands in the air from Emily Jones to score that winning run alongside Taryn Kern.
Well, and you know, things I think about, Jenna, about this series, and it's just that the number of different Stanford players who had big moments in this series. Berry gets the walk-off here. Addison Shepard, the grand slam on Friday night to walk it off, but Bulafin with a big home run in yesterday's game. Ava Gall, we talked about all the walks that she has had. Kern, a home run in this game, a home run on Friday. I mean, this virus of big hits, of move the runners, move the line. I mean, it's just starting to be a very positive virus for the Stanford team, if you will.
And this is a Stanford team whose offense really doesn't let up 1 through 9. And we just saw it come together.
Hello.
And I believe we do have head coach Jessica Allister. And coach, congratulations on the win. Tell us about that bottom of the 8th inning, what was going on, and about the Jade Berry at bat.
Oh, man. Well, I thought we had a lot of good things. I think first, Taryn Kern digging in, having a great at bat, drawing the walk. That was big time. Emily Jones getting down in the count, getting the ball to the outfield. You know, River Mailer hits that ball hard back at the first baseman. And then Jade, she'd had a rough day with the changeup all game. And that's what happens with this game. You're going to get another opportunity, and that's extra sweet that ended on a changeup for Jade Berry.
Obviously, an outstanding ranked series sweep under your belt now as a squad. And the first 2 were pure cinema. Why would this last one not be? But talk to me about how this team stays both locked in and loose all through from start to finish.
Yeah, we're just trying to compete in the moment. And I think that we've got a group of young women that want to do things well. They want to do things well for their team. They want to take care of their teammates. They believe in themselves, and they're out there just competing for each other.
Coach, you're pitching today. I mean, Zoe Prestaico, I mean, you call upon her for a 3rd straight game, and she makes enough good pitches. Anna Brewer gives you some innings. I mean, talk about your pitching staff today.
Yeah, and don't forget about Alyssa Houston in the middle.
Yep.
So Brewer gave us a great start. Liz came in and filled the gap very nicely in the middle to get to Zoe, and Zoe was unbelievable. So the staff, I thought, was fantastic all weekend.
And bringing all parts of the game together, Coach. I mean, obviously the timely hitting, your pitchers able to eat up important innings and have big moments, and the defense staying solid too. How important is this for building confidence the rest of the way through this season?
Well, yeah, I think at this point in the season, you're just trying to get hot, you know, and start playing good ball at the right time. And we've kind of talked about this all year, that we've been a little bit of up and down, but we feel like we're starting to play our best ball. So that's the goal.
Well, Coach, thank you for giving us a few minutes. You mentioned that when players start to get healthy and the bats start to come alive, look out, and that was the case this weekend. Thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Thanks for being here.
That's Jessica Allister as Stanford celebrates its fans and its players and its coaches a 3rd straight win over a top 10 ranked team and the top team in the ACC standings, and still are in terms of number of losses, but. As we look at the upcoming schedule, Jenna, for Florida State, we talked about the fact that they've played 3 fewer conference games than Stanford has. So there are 3 remaining series for Florida State, beginning with North Carolina coming to Tallahassee next weekend.
And Florida State going to be able to go back home and get to reset after this trip. They've been here all week, facing Santa Clara earlier on for the midweek before this series. So getting to settle back in to home base, and it'll be an important series for them going up against North Carolina next weekend.
Those first two games will be on the ACC network if you want to catch them, Friday and Saturday. And then, of course, we talked about the final two road series for Florida State. For Stanford, we talked about how Stanford is going to be in Palo Alto, whether home team or visitor team. Cardinal, as we talked about, will go to Fresno State for a midweek game this week, and then they'll come back to host North Carolina State and Cal thereafter, the last two series of the conference slate.
An opportunity for the Cardinal to finish the conference slate on a strong note, and they are going to get to play quote-unquote away, of course, kind of in the backyard here up in Northern California at Fresno State and then at Santa Clara as well after that North Carolina State series. So some opportunities to stack up some more wins.
Well, for Stanford, a chance to build on some momentum as April proceeds. For Florida State, some wound licking, but the Florida Seminoles still a very fine 36-7. We very much appreciate your having been with us this weekend on various forms of the ESPN platforms, including today on ACC Network Extra. For our broadcast crew and for my partner, Jenna Becerra, I'm John Platz, thanking you for being with us. Once again, the final score from Stanford Softball Stadium in 8 innings. The Stanford Cardinal 6, the Florida State Seminoles 5. You've been watching and listening to ACC Network Extra.